Salutations, fellow pony fans. I am Purple Prowess, back for another exciting Season 4 Epcast. Today's episode, Power Ponies! Written by Megan McCarthy, Charlotte Fullerton, and Betsy McGowan. Thrice the writer, triple the power. Let me start by welcoming Betsy to the show and say it's good to see Charlotte back, even if just co-writing one episode. But it's a superhero episode, so it's fitting. She happens to be currently one of the story editors of Ben 10, a superhero show, starring Terra's strongest 10-year-old Ben, what do you know? With the great variety and coolness factor MLPG4 has, another element unfamiliar to the brand has been added. A good old-fashioned, action-packed superhero story. Oh yeah, you've heard of My Little Pony, right? That cartoon show with awesome stories and great characters, and it makes references to everything from movies to comics. But isn't that a show for little girls? Silence, peasant! Seriously, does anybody even think that anymore? 3 of the 4 animatics from Comic-Con already revealed. 1 left. Are you excited? I am excited. Despite having already seen bits of this episode in previews and such, you can't avoid them all. You just can't. It's been exciting so far to see each animatic all finished. You try to pay as much attention to it as you can, to see what's changed and how a certain thing looks animated. Those main tentacles moving out of the museum are a very good example. Speaking of animation, I love the shot of the ponies getting sucked into the comic. Not because it references a dog and pony show right down to Pinky's Carefree Leap, but because you can clearly see that a lot of hard work went into making it. And time. Deforming flash puppets like that, while also delivering great animation, can't be easy. Let's see, going now into a few aspects of the Power Ponies. Masked Matterhorn, one of my favorites. For starters, it's Christmas time and she throws snowballs, come on! For some reason, magenta has become Twilight's main color in clothing. Still, it's a nice looking suit. The best detail is probably the horn armor. Still trying to make sense of her main style. That fringe seems to be coming from nowhere. Those goggles may either be there to reference snow activities, or it's because Twilight's a brainiac, whichever you prefer. And best of all, more Twilight flying, but now as a superhero, with awesome air moves and sound effects. Love it. Radiance was another gem of a superhero, for having another one of my favorite suit designs, and for how hilarious Rarity was, both script-wise and storyboard-wise. 2 fine examples, the way she hops down the stairs with joy and grace, and when she's cleaning the dust off of her, for no real reason other than, let's just put that in there. And what's the first thing she creates with her bracelets? A teapot and cups, of course. Philly second was, well, Pinkie Pie. Already in the castle she was high up on the random and humor meter, with the fast talking, the spider wall scrubbing and the upside down mane scrubbing, but she didn't stop there. The way she teases that henchman, eventually giving him a banana split on the face, and the tag your it part, those are simple and repetitive, but make me laugh nonetheless. Also, cupcakes! The pretty multicolored ones from Daring Don't for that matter. Notice that Humdrum is the only one with a cape. The only one who ignored Edna's advice. Let me rephrase that. Edna's rule. Poor Spike, he really got the worst character. But he still looks good in that outfit. It would be nice to see him wearing something like that again, in another context. I don't know if you noticed, but Applejack's mask is made of negative space. It's an art term. Instead of having a mask, she has most of her head covered, leaving out the space around her eyes. Flutter Hulk may just be the most unexpected thing you'd see in a My Little Pony show. Even more than when she twisted that bear's neck in Lesson 0. I love how when she's powering up, at the same time she's giving an angry but still articulate speech about common courtesy. Just that alone makes this scene one of the best for me. Of course, there's also the part right afterwards when she downright totals the ray gun, and it ends with her stopping herself, embarrassed for getting carried away. I like it that, even angrier and stronger, she's still herself. There was some amazing and bold performance from Andrea Libman in that scene. Major props for her. They must have broken her there. I actually like the mane-iac a lot. With that crazy voice performance, "He's utterly useless!" Cool Dr. Octopus style mane and a very nice color scheme, she certainly earned her place among the MLP top villains. It's one of those characters that are enjoyable for how they were carefully thought out despite having only 1 episode, yet, and with personalities that help them stand out from all the others. She makes a point to laugh straight in Applejack's face as she leaves. You gotta love that. Moving on, we got another adorable scene between Twilight and Spike, right in the beginning. I absolutely loved that 2 more minutes line from Twilight. Super sweet moment. Oh yeah, and Spike reads with his feet and Twilight now wears a hat while sleeping. There's that. This episode very openly touches on the subject of Spike often being portrayed as a useless character, but goes on to show everyone who thinks otherwise, including him, that he's much more than that. I think this episode did a satisfying job at showing the importance of his character among the main cast. He's not a lame sidekick or comic relief, and that's something that deserves to keep being acknowledged. It does depend on who's writing for him, but several times already we've seen his worth, even if mostly with Twilight. He gives her advices, he's the first one to know if something is troubling her, he even started following her in her quests. Thank you, Megan. He can be clumsy and selfish, but when done right, it all serves to make him a more complex and genuine character. I like what Aquaman says about this subject all throughout this episode's follow-up at EQD. There's a link in the description.
He also gives his thoughts on what else may be in store for the season, to which I fully agree. So go read it, because it's very interesting. Not to mention hilarious, but that's pretty usual with follow-ups, isn't it? If you'd like to know more of my thoughts about this episode and a little more about Season 4, I've put it all in a post on my Tumblr, link also in the description. As usual, follow me on Twitter and Facebook, and if you'd like to watch my previous podcasts, the top left corner of the screen will take you to them. And that's all the time we have, guys! I thank you for joining me, and I hope you're all having a lovely Christmas time and holiday.
I'll see you guys next time. Purple Prowess taking off.